That's the Louis Dreyfus complex over there. We're standing on a finger of glacial lake bed looking north. That's the Saskatchewan Pulses facility. It's Friday afternoon, about coffee time, April 17th, 2015. And this is Aberdeen, Saskatchewan. The lake bed opens out to the north. It's surrounded on most sides by undifferentiated glacial till, little rougher country. Good farmland in through here. We're standing on Saskatchewan Secondary 785, Aberdeen Central Avenue. These are the headquarters of the Rural Municipality of Aberdeen, number 373. This is the rail line that Canadian Northern laid through here in 1904. It was their main line running through Kenora and Humboldt. At mile 52.6 from Humboldt, they raised a third-class station in 1905. So removed at a date unknown. Would have stood right in here somewhere. Come 1911, British America, Beaver Elevator Company, J.D. Friesen, and Northern Grain all had elevators standing. 1912, Saskatchewan Cooperative Elevator built, and Central Grain in 1923. The Egston elevator was built by Saskatchewan Wheat Pool in 1954. And Cargill built in 1981, but they took it down in 2010. And looking up Central Avenue, Main Street runs parallel to the tracks. Aberdeen is laid out cardinally, unlike most prairie towns, which are laid out perpendicular to the railway tracks. And a cenotaph, lest we forget. So 100 years ago, those boys were drowning in the mud of Flanders. What a horror show that was, only to be repeated 25 years later. On April 1st, 1905, Henry Schroeder opened up the post office in his store, named it after John Campbell Gordon, the Marquess of Aberdeen and Timor, recently the Governor General of Canada. And a gander down Main Street. A hamlet was organized on this site in 1904. It was originally called Duick after the first merchant who set up here. G.W. McClaskey bought the town site in 1905, had it surveyed and sold the Central Business District lots. Sold the town site to CN in 1907, so it's rumored. The village was incorporated March 13th, 1907. It became a town on November the 1st, 1988. Bank of Hamilton opened a branch here in 1906. The Empress Hotel was built, or maybe it was called the Alexandria. By 1910, a second hotel had been built, a 40-room extravaganza called the Florence. 1916, photo reveals the two hotels then called the Alexandria and the Empress, along with requisite false-fronted buildings sheltering hardware stores, general stores, implement dealers, 3 lumber yards. In 1937, a big fire on Main Street permanently crippled Aberdeen. It's just too close to Saskatoon to recover economically, although only 32 km from Saskatoon on beautiful Highway 41. It has become a dormitory town with new subdivisions. The population is rising to 600 in 2011. New community center there. The old skating rink. An equestrian center, likely built after the boys returned from World War II. A new 2-room, 2-story school was built in 1910 and replaced by a red brick 4-room school in 1926. This is the composite school dating from the 1960s, core of it anyway. North of the school on Central Avenue is this recreation and cultural complex built in 2005. Has your curling rinks and your skating rinks in there. And the ball diamonds behind in In 1909, the first baseball tournament in central Saskatchewan was held in Aberdeen with a purse of $350. The Mennonite organized a church in 1907 and built this building in 1910 and renovated in the 1930s. There was a Presbyterian church built in 1910 as well as a United Church, but if it's still in existence, it's well hidden. And now it's Thursday, July 23rd, 2015, and the crops are up. Beautiful green. Settlers of mainly British stock began arriving in this area in the 1890s, many of them from eastern Canada. A sizable contingent of Ukrainians began arriving in 1898, followed by Mennonites from Russia and from the United States in the early 1900s, many of them coming by way of Rosthern to the northwest on the other side of the South Saskatchewan River. The Saskatchewan pulse installation there. Just on the other side of that is Lanaw Junction on the rail line. And standing on Highway 41 looking west into town, Lanaw Junction is by the pulse plant there. In 1927, Canadian National completed a line past Walkoff from Melfort up on one of the old Canadian Northern lines. Judging from aerial photographs, it appears that the Mesquinaw sub initially joined the main line at Vonda, some 16 miles to the east. Likely in the early 30s, though, the section between Smuts and Vonda was abandoned, and the line down to Aberdeen completed. The whole subdivision was abandoned in 1980. Not sure what hills those are down there. Undifferentiated glacial till off to the east here is the Minichinas Hills. Pardon me, right there. Big mounds of moraine pushed up by the glaciers which retreated out of this area maybe 11,000 years ago. Looking eastward towards Vonda, Prudhomme down the rail line there. The switch takes a spur line up to the Louis Dreyfus facility, which was completed in the year 2000. The last hotel burned on March the 3rd, 1997, and there's no place to pernoctate anymore in Aberdeen, Saskatchewan.